Hello everybody, and welcome to Retro Gamer Ranting. There it is, I just got it in the mail, the RetroN 3 system. So why don't I open it up real quick? I haven't really did anything with it, so as of yet, so let's take a look at what it looks like out of the box. I know this isn't any next-gen system, but it's kind of exciting to me because it's one of the few third-party consoles that play Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis, and also even have ports for original controllers. So look at that. That's fresh right out of the box. It's like a little controller. Looks like a pretty handy controller. From what I hear with the reviews, though, they're complete crap. So I'm going to take this out of the box. My cousin Captain Switch is over. We're going to play with this a little, see how it works, and I'll give you guys a review. So there's that right there, and I'll be back and tell you a little bit more in a minute. Hey everybody, I'm back, and now that I've thoroughly tested out the RetroN 3 from Hyperkin, I think it's called, made in China, like everything! With my cousin Captain Switch, I can come back and tell you what I think about this little third-party developed console. So yeah, it's pretty nifty. I'm just going to go over the specs right now for you. Right now is pretty much is what you get out of the box. This is what it looks like unboxed. Sans the AC adapter. For some reason didn't put that on the table. Figured it looked too cluttered. But it comes with an AC adapter. It comes with S-Video and composite AV inputs. And it's compatible with the Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, and the Super Nintendo controllers. So that's probably one of the coolest features right there is you can use the original controllers for the systems. And it includes 2 wireless controllers. Batteries not included. AAA batteries needed. So right off the bat, you take a look at it. It's actually not a bad looking one. You know all those third-party title consoles, third-party consoles all kind of look chintzy. This actually kind of looks like something like a you know, Sega would put out, or Nintendo would put out, or Sony would put out, or something like that. It kind of looks kind of nifty. It's plastic. I'm just going to tell you that now. It's a little more plasticky than most ones. You don't want to really knock it around that much. I did run into instances with at least Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis games where if you accidentally bump it while playing a game, it might lock up. But other than that, it is a pretty sturdy little system. It's pretty nice because, like I mentioned before, it does have the different ports for the different system controllers. The Genesis, the Super Nintendo, and the Nintendo. And they all work, which is really cool that they did that. And I'll get to the reason why here in a second. The only thing I did run into, the Super Nintendo controllers worked, the Nintendo controllers worked great. I didn't try any third-party controllers with it. However, on the Sega Genesis, I did try using 6-button controllers, and it didn't seem to work very well. If anything, you could move around, but you couldn't use the buttons. I don't know. But any of the 6-button controllers that I used for Sega Genesis didn't work. They didn't seem to, like, they felt loose in there. So the 3-button Sega Genesis controllers worked fine, though. So I didn't have any trouble with that. So that's kind of a little gripe about that. I don't know. Maybe I just had the wrong kind of controllers. Who knows? Maybe other people, if anyone else ran into that problem, please tell me. But other than that, the 6-button Sega Genesis controller didn't work with it. But you're going to want these original controllers. I'm going to tell you why. If you get this system and you don't have original Nintendo, original Genesis, and original Super Nintendo controllers, make sure you spend the extra money to get them from eBay, from Amazon, from wherever, because the controllers that come with it, right here, it looks cool. It feels cool. It's kind of nice. A, B, C, X, Y, Z. It's wireless, though. But hey, that's cool. Everything's wireless nowadays. But you see this thing? Wireless? Crap. Get rid of it. No good. Why? Because it is. It's no good. Plus, the buttons are all screwed up. I don't know if you can see that, but let me tell you what the button diagram says for Genesis. The C button's normal. So C is C. That's nice. But guess what A is? A is B. and B is A. And then Z is Z, but Y is X, and X is Y. Why? Why couldn't they have made it normal? I have no idea. But then look at this. The Super Nintendo controller. R is C, A is B, B is A, L is Z, X is Y, and Y is X. Again, crap. Did I break that? I probably did. It didn't matter. Give this to your dog to play with, or your son, like I did. You know, whatever. Or just keep it around just in case of emergency. Because I threw that on the floor, it probably doesn't work anymore, but it doesn't matter. So the reason why is basically you have to right here. You have to hold it like this to get this to work wirelessly. You just have to. And so I don't know. What are you gonna do? They look kind of cool though, and they are still usable if you have to do it. So, what are you gonna do? But other than that, I played it with I played each system, a couple of different games each, and as you can see, you have the Super Nintendo right here, you have the Sega right here, and you have the Nintendo right here. Okay, now, as you can tell, I was able to pull these out without much problem, and I'm able to put them back in without much problem. The Nintendo, on the other hand, oh God, you have to be a muscle man to pull that crap out. Look at that. And then to put it back in, little snug. Still better than having to fight with your normal front loader Nintendo in order to get the darn thing to work. So the good news is it's snug in really good, and then all you have to do is hit power and it boots up right away. So there wasn't any problem with that whatsoever. So I was happy to see that at least I'm not fighting with my NES. And the NES part of it was pretty much one of the main reasons why I got this system. So no problems for the most part fitting in the Sega. Little, just got to put a little pressure. Now there is no eject button, so it feels like you're gonna break the system every time you pull it out. So you just have to be a little muscle to it. And the fact that this is made of plastic doesn't help either, because you just feel like you're going to put your thumb through it. Because, you know, so that's a bit of a gripe right there, is the fact of how hard you have to just yank on that. A little eject button would be great. The fact that this is flimsy plastic doesn't help either. But again, here's the power button. And right here, you switch NES, Genesis, Super Nintendo. And you can switch through them on the fly, hit the reset button, whatever, and hit the power button, and you're all good. And it emulates really well. If it's what it's using is an emulator process or something like that, I'm not sure. The only real things, graphically, everything turned out even more crisp and clear, at least for the Nintendo and Sega Genesis, probably because of the different hookups than they're used to. And the sound and music are pretty spot on. We did run into a few issues with Secret of Mana. It kind of made the music sound a little louder than it should have. There was a few sound issues here or there with Super Street Fighter 2, like Fei Long sounded like a chicken at one point, my brother called it. Other than that, Nintendo didn't really run into too many things. Played through Sonic on the with the Sega, and everything sounded pretty much crystal clear. If anything, the sounds are minor nuisance at most, but everything ran smoothly, ran how it was supposed to. There wasn't any errors or glitches. I was even able to play Star Fox and Stunt Racer FX, Killer Instinct there, all those other ones without too much problem whatsoever, without any problem for the most part. Star Fox, there was a bit of slowdown. Stunt Racer FX, so anything that uses a 3DFX chip, maybe. I know there are some games that aren't compatible with this. There's probably a list out there on Google. If I find one while I post this, I'll put it in my description. Who knows? But I'm sure it'd be easy to find. But there it is. I give this a pretty solid 7.5 out of 10 for a third-party system. I'm actually quite impressed with it. I would have graded it a lot lower if it wouldn't have been for the fact that you were able to use original controller ports. However, I did knock down a few points due to the fact that you basically have to own the original controllers for each of these systems, or for whatever systems you're going to use it for, because these are just complete useless to you. So, for the most part, I mean, they are useful. You just have to make sure you're directly in front of it the whole time. So, if you have some old system games that you want to play again, go out and you have $50 to spend or more, depending if you need to get a controller or not. Yeah, go ahead. The RetroN 3 is a great example. If you need to replace your Nintendo, your old front loader don't work, even this will probably be your best bet for it. Who knows? Just make sure you have the original controllers for the systems. Otherwise, you might be a little frustrated. But this is a pretty solid little third party contender there when it comes to the console market. Definitely give it a try if you are a classic gamer nut like I am. So, hey, thanks again for listening for this review, and leave some comments below. That's what they're there for. Rate and subscribe and follow, and tell me what you think. Thanks again, everybody. Till next time, game fans, this is Twitch. Keep playing.